The second virtue to lead is lead by honesty. Ben Franklin said, another quote, sorry I couldn't help it, "What you seem to be really. Less spin, more sincerity," or more spine. Here at Penn, you have all been fortunate to be part of an institution that has always put emphasis on practical thinking, real-world solutions, and sticking to the facts. Don't forget that, because there's no better way to get your point across. And you'll find that even those who disagree with you will respect you for having the guts to give it to them straight. If only Washington would learn this lesson. Today, we see people at the highest level of government manipulating the facts to fit their own agendas, especially when it comes to science. You can see it in the work and the decisions to restrict federal funding for stem cell research, or to refute proven methods that stop the scourge of AIDS here and around the world. It's a phenomenon I like to call true political science. But we should never, never stifle scientific investigation or ignore the facts for the sake of ideology or short-term political gain. That's not only short-sighted, it's completely dishonest. You have a right to your opinions, but you don't have a right to your own facts. And that's the key difference. There's a saying here in America, "In God we trust," and I agree. In God we trust, but all others bring data. The third value to lead by is accountability. Accountability means facing your responsibilities and never passing the buck. Anyone who works in the private sector understands this, but how often do we see accountability in politics? It's missing from our efforts to improve education, to expand health care, even to confront the urgent challenges of climate change. Cities across the country, fortunately, have been stepping up to take steps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and become more sustainable. And so have universities like Penn, which last month announced that it will increase its use of wind energy over the next few years. But in Washington, just a little bit south of here, there's no meaningful action. Just talk of meeting goals in the year 2050 or 2070, when none of the current legislators will even be alive. I don't know about them, but we are breathing this air now, drinking our water today, stuck in traffic that's stalling our economy this year, and every day becoming more and more vulnerable to coercion and terrorism from oil-supplying dictatorships around the world that fear our freedoms. It's easy to announce far-off distance goals and then expect someone else to figure out how to pay for them and complete them. But do any of you graduates really want to put off your goals for 30 or 40 years? I don't think so. It's time Washington had the courage to tell the American people that there is no free lunch, and the time to make difficult decisions has arrived. As New York Times columnist Tom Frieden said, "It's too late for later." And that brings us to the last of my four virtues that makes for great leaders and successful individuals, and that is immigration. Good leadership means having the courage to think outside the box and never settling for the same old, tired ways of thinking. As Franklin wrote, "Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure." Now, I've experienced failure, nothing big. Not everything I've ever tried has worked. 1981, the job, as Amy said, and she described my career, I went from working for a company to starting my own. What she didn't say is I got fired from the first one. But I never had a chance, seriously, to look back, and I've never taken it. And the very next day, I took the opportunity to begin my own company, and with the wild and innovative ideas of making financial information available to people right on their desktops. And by the way, for those who fired me, who are keeping score, it worked out just fine. Thank you very much. But make no mistake, I will fail again, many times more, if I stay active and try to push the envelope by innovating. For America, the key to innovation, I think, boils down to one word that I want you to take away. And you know what it is. It is Immigration. That's the word that is the key to innovation in our society. Our nation's greatest strength is that we've always welcomed the best and the brightest from every corner of the globe. eBay, Google, Levi's, Budweiser, they were all started by immigrants. That's the story of New York, and it's the story of Penn, which has the highest percentage of international students in the Ivy League. And yet every year, Congress shuts the doors to hundreds of thousands of doctors, scientists, engineers, and artists from around the world who want to come here. This is the greatest case of national self-sabotage and attempted suicide that I can imagine. If our country's future is going to be as great as our past, we have to start realizing that immigrants always have been and always will be one of our greatest economic, cultural assets. And perhaps that's not a bad message to end today. I have no doubt that the amazing, diverse experiences you've had at Penn are going to help you to achieve great things. Some of you will go on to graduate school. Some of you are heading into the job market starting tomorrow, and that can be particularly scary given this job market. But my advice to all of you is to find something that teaches and humbles and exhilarates you. And don't despair if your career path doesn't follow a straight line. Plenty of successful people are doing things that are radically different from where they started. Just look around you. That party animal who lived across from you in the quad could be the next Donald Trump. That sophomore working at Van Pelt, the next Mayor Nutter, and that bookish grad student, the next Candace Bergen. There will be ups, there will be downs, and there will be sideways. I know I've been hired and fired, lauded and vilified. But each day, I was looking forward to getting up, and each day has gotten better for me, even the day when I knew I was going to be fired from the job I always loved, because I always thought that tomorrow is going to be the best day of my life. And I hope that that will be the case for the great class of '08, that tomorrow you'll embark on unforgettable adventures, tomorrow with your newfound independence, with honesty and accountability, and the spirit of innovation, you will help build a better world. But today, you have earned the right to one last brew at Smokes. And why not? A great American patriot, whom I've actually been compared to recently, supposedly said, "Beer is living proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy." And so let me send you on your way. There's one more Quaker tradition I would like to fulfill, especially here at Franklin Field. A toast to dear old Penn. Congratulations to all of you.